Welcome in YouTube. This is Juicy. Got a very special guest, great content creator, somebody who I look up to, and an alliance mate and friend of the channel. That is ValleyFlyin. Just Valley, go ahead and do your usual.
Hello, hello.
All
Good
right,
morning. How are you?
doing great, doing
Get your
great.
get your mythic gear. Get your demonic gear,
Oh
Juicy.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's all Christmas gear now. But in this video, we're
Yeah.
going to be going over we're going to be going over Dark Dimension and what you should be doing, what you should be buying, and who you should be building with the one and only Value Flying. Then let's go smash it.
Yes, let's smash it, baby. Let's get into Dark Dimension 7. Let's get Mephisto. That character looks off the chain. We need to get him right away, Juicy. So what I gotta do to get him right away?
Yeah. So first of all, you got to do is I would say. Alrighty, so one of the things we're going to need to be doing when we start looking at Dark Dimension is we want to go ahead and look at your Dark Dimension, look at your leaderboard, see when you finished. This helps you plan on when you should be building and how fast you should be building. So I finished 892 in Dark Dimension. So just to give you a perspective, that means I finished Dark Dimension in 6 months to the day. Almost, I missed it by like one day.
That's nice.
Yeah. If you finished further back, then that means it took you longer, right? So, when did you finish, and about how long did that take you?
I've finished December 3rd because we just looked at the reel that they put out, and my place was 3,409. So
Yeah.
it took me a long time. I finished way behind you, so I'm one of the slower, please. But I didn't plan it out last time. I didn't buy any gear in the store because I thought it was too expensive. This time I'm buying it right away because I saw people get in a lot quicker than I was because they were buying gear. So I'm starting it right now. We're planning ahead. We're making good decisions, Juicy.
Yeah. And so going over there, we're gonna go ahead and go over to the store. Mirror had to be reset right quick. Okay, so when I look at the store right here, right? First thing you want to be doing is when you're buying. So I have a miasma piece in there. So any tune that you plan on taking, you should be buying their uniques. I got lucky on that. But you see here, I see a superhero serum and I see a gamma radiation. Those aren't that great. I don't plan on taking anybody with those two particular uniques, so I'm not buying them.
It's leader takes gamma.
That's true. So maybe I should be buying that.
Maybe give you options later on. You might not want to take them, but at least maybe you get maybe you want that option later.
Yeah, so it gives me an option. One thing you want to particularly look at is this top left corner. So these uniques right here in the left hand corner. These things are you need so many of them. So this is the G16 piece or G18 piece that is needed for all your tunes. So if you think about it, miasma. If you're taking Doom, you're taking Dorm, and you're taking Ghost Robber Robbie, you still only need 54 of those. Do you want to like if you think about how many you would need for the G18s, right? Because you need 18 per piece, right? Of each one, and then you need it for every single slot. So when you start doing the math, you need almost thousands of these to finish.
Yeah, you need way more than 54 just for one character.
Yeah, and so
54 uniques is for all their characters you're bringing. So yeah, that I like that. That's a good perspective. I'm gonna buy that every day now.
yeah, yeah, and thankfully these are a lot cheaper, right? So these are like 400 a piece. Sometimes they come in a stack of 2 for 800, I think. But that just kind of shows you who you should be buying, and the next thing you should be doing is make a plan on who you're taking, right? And so there's two methods, right? There's if you're trying to speed through Dark Dimension, you build in the order in which the traits are. If you're somebody like me who's going to take 6 months and is going to be on a marathon, my personal opinion is you should be building the best tunes for the best value, right?
Makes sense.
So like off the top of your head, what do you think the best character to take Dark Dimension is? Like who's a no-brainer?
Well, Apocalypse and Super Scroll. Build your mythic characters, and they're going to give you value right now in Arena. They're going to give you value in Crucible, in War, whatever game mode you're going to use them. You're going to get value right now. So I agree with that because instead of waiting months to get the value from them, you're getting the value from their extra gear right now. Even if they may not be the tune that you're going to need in the first section, they're not city tunes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so you're basically building the last trait first, which I think is a great idea. So your mythic traits, right? You got your APOC, Kestrel, Sus, Dorm, Doom, Ultron, and Ultimus. Um, no brainers is Sus and APOC, and I think Kestrel because of her cost. The next four, who are the four you taking? And then I'll say who I'm thinking.
All right. Well, you convinced me when we were talking about this, the miasma, because I was thinking dorm, and then I wasn't sure about that. But only 54 of those miasma, so I think I'm going to do Doctor Doom and Dorm. You've convinced me doing the math like that.
Yeah,
And yeah, Ultron, Ultimus, go,
yeah,
they could go away.
yeah,
They're not going to give me any value.
yeah. Unless they get a rework, right? Because reworks change those answers, right? So if Ultimus gets a rework somewhere between now and then, and don't come back at us and say, "Hey, why did you not suggest Ultimus?" But for today, no, he's trash.
Because he sucks right now. Maybe in 3 months he'll be good, but he sucks right now.
Exactly. So I'm taking the top five. There are no brainers. I'm definitely putting gear as soon as I can on the first three, and then Dorm and Doom I'll build a little slower, just in case there's a rework. Just in case, just to wait till I'm at that door. But definitely the first three, no brainers. Build them high. You're not gonna
Yeah,
regret it.
I think what you're concerned about is a rework. I don't think there's going to be any more mythic tunes added to this, like there will be for legendaries. So these are the characters that you're going in with. So yeah, rework or nothing.
Yeah. The next one would be. Then we're just gonna go in order. So the first one we got is City. Um,
Mm.
who are you thinking? Like who, if you were to enter today, who would be your five for City? Who do you think?
All right, so not taking traits into account, I would go with Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes. Miss Marvel Hardlight would be in there, but she is mutant, so I'm not sure about that. But if traits weren't into consideration, Miss Marvel Hardlight would be in there as well. Vulture's very cheap, and I get a lot of value from Vulture, so he would be in that conversation as well. After that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Craven's good. He's a little bit more expensive. Lizard's good, a little bit more expensive. Slayer's good, a little bit more expensive. Firestar, but also a mutant character.
Yeah.
I think that's it right now. I probably wouldn't leave him towards Hive Mind. Wouldn't go to like the old New Warriors or the New Avengers. I'd probably leaning towards Superior Six right now, or whatever team's gonna be in the future.
Yeah, I think because that's a good point. Is for Hive Mind in particular, they are a very five-man team, meaning that if you pull one of them off the team, for the exception of Void Knight is the exception to the rule, but the other four, they
But he's not
really
a city. He's not a city. Though,
he's not
so.
even City. I know we're gonna get to
Yeah.
Cosmic, but I'm just pointing that out for the viewers. He just doesn't synergize. They don't work unless they're all together. They have the Web Warrior factor, right? Web Warriors,
Yeah.
when you took them in a DD, I think it was four. If you took one of them, they were really bad. But if you took all five of them, uh, good luck with your
Mm.
bio gear. And good luck with the alien, the whatever that the formula was. But if you took them all in, they were great together. And the same thing's gonna happen with Hive Mind. The only way you get value out of Hive Mind is if you bring all four of them, and then you're so much bio gear, so
But
many
you're
better
missing
tunes,
the best one in city. It's not even.
and then you're missing the best piece. And then also, as I said, there's so many other bio tunes that are so much better. Scrolls, and I mean the easiest one to think of. Lizard's a good option. He's going to be comparable to them anyway. You have out of time, so you have Captain America and Peggy. Those are some good like bio options that I'm just throwing off the top of my head. And I mean, we could look at the list and it'd be even more.
Gwenpool's there.
Yeah.
Kind of
Uh,
kind of falling out of favor. I probably not. I mean, if we're going in right now, maybe Gwenpool. By the time we're going to Dark Dimension, Gwenpool and Firestar probably out of the meta.
yeah, they have the same problem. They're built to be used together, and because they have to be used together, they're just Firestar by herself is okay because of Robbie,
With
but
Robbie, yeah.
she's not like the A tier tune. She's just cheap and she's good. So if you need to enter, she's a good option, but I'm not recommending her. The only person I think that is safe to build today is Robbie Reyes, and then as you're getting more gear, then I might bring in Craven as my next option, stuff like that. In my personal
Yeah,
opinion. Awesome.
I'd do the same.
Yeah. So let's talk about who are the safe to build in Cosmic, because I think Cosmic's the one that's up next. Um.
I think it's global next, but we could go
Oh,
cosmic if you want.
we go.
Uh, cosmic, I would go Kestrel and Kestrel Mythic
Mythic
now.
now.
Kang, I think.
Yeah. Kang. Kang is a safe option. Do you think Vol's still a safe option, or do you think she's kind of in that weird spot too?
She's kind of like the new Warriors for me. If I'm going right now, yes, because she has Dark Dimension tag. She's supposed to be a Dark Dimension character. The problem with Val is she does take that osmium, right? So there's a lot of great tunes that have that. She is a part of the Bifrost team that is falling out, and she doesn't have a lot of use outside. I mean, maybe a little bit in some hybrid teams,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't have that villain tag. She's not going to be used on Cabal effectively. So I don't know. She might be replaced down the road. I think right now she's a great option. So Kang Val is great. Void Knight is another great one as well.
Yep. What?
After that, I just kind of would wait and see who comes to the game.
Yeah. See who comes to the game. Yeah. My only safe picks here for is Kang and Void Knight, and then the rest I'm gonna just see as the game progresses. If once I'm at that door, right? Because you take the best tunes, and then once you get to the front door of each section, that's when you start picking those other options, those good options or great
Yeah.
options. Um, and then
I
the
like that
all
Kang, Void Knight, and then maybe Val. That's it. Nobody else really stands out. The Eternals, but they're always kind of expensive. You got a lot of the problem with Cosmic. There's a lot of these mystic characters in Cosmic.
yeah.
So trying to find these other non-mystic characters is going to be the main thing here.
Yeah, that and also the best cosmic tunes are mythic tunes now. The three best
Yeah.
tunes are Kestrel, Dorm, Super Scroll. They're all in a different section. Nova is also a good cosmic character, but he's also in a different section. You can't use him. There's a funny one,
And he also takes osmium.
but does the goat make it back into the team again? Mr. Stitcher, does he make it?
I don't know. Like we were talking about before, I didn't plan to bring him into Dark Dimension 5. I brought him in. I wasn't planning to bring him into Dark Dimension 6. I brought him in. I'm not planning to bring him into Dark Dimension 7, so we'll see.
This guy is just the cockroach of MSF. He makes it to
He
every
is.
dark.
I'm like, I don't want to keep gearing him up.
So he's made it. He made it into my last Dark Dimension run and the one before that, and I never get value out after him. And I always say every time I'm not taking this guy again, and then he makes it on my team again. Uh, he is the cockroach of MSF.
I think, yeah. All of us feel about that the same way about Stitcher. We don't want to bring him in, but sometimes the timing of it just works out like that.
All right, that leaves global. Who you got? Who are your no brainers? Who's making the team no matter what? And then who are your like maybes?
I don't have Apocalypse anymore. I Black Knight. Black Knight is one of the best characters in the game. Black Knight is going to get there. Plus, he's skilled. There's not a lot of great skill characters. After that, I don't think I have any guaranteed choices. Nightcrawler's great. Gambit's great. Quicksilver was great in previous Dark Dimension. I think the only guaranteed character right now is Black Knight. And then there's other options that I'm thinking maybe, like Gambit, Quicksilver, maybe some of the out of time, like Captain America, Captain Carter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nobody really stands out as like guaranteed choices except for Black Knight right now.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I would argue more is Nightcrawler because of his abilities, um, because he has that ability to stop
Mhm.
the turn meter from Emma, and then his
Only,
special
only,
that's
only thing that just gives me pause. I'm just wondering if there's someone down the road that's a little better. Probably not because he's a mutant character. He's a mutant solution, but just that's a character that I would not do right now. But he's probably the character that I'm bringing in. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yes, definitely. Because I mean, just an example, I think the Cabal team with leader, um, they're not in the game, so leader Iron Patriot and Namor, can all do pretty okay in Dark Dimension, so they're going to be an option for
Leader
people.
is going to be global. That is, oh, that's so good. Juicy. Leader is
Yeah.
going to be global.
So all three of them are global. All three of them are different
Ooh,
traits. One's mutant, one's bio,
ooh.
one's tech. So you're getting some synergy, and you're also not getting bottlenecked by any particular trait.
Ooh,
So that's just
that's
so.
good.
So that's just an example. Like they could possibly push out half the choices that we just said
All right,
if they're cheap.
get the gamma radiation, Juicy. Buy it. Bring leader.
um, yeah. So that's and then so we did global, did mythic, and then
Legendary.
legendary. The one that I'm just gonna ignore until 5 months down the road. Is there any safe options in your opinion?
No, not right now. You put it best. We're probably gonna get a few more legendary characters before we finish Dark Dimension. Maybe even before we get most players get to that legendary section. So this would be a good section to just wait on. You know, get all the gear, get where you're planning to gear up, but don't put the gear on them. You know, and then when you get to the legendary section, then make your choice. I think this is the best one to hold off on.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, it also comes to like these are always tunes you can come back and fill in after you're done. I mean, if you look at my
Yeah.
roster, I mean, I finished Dark Dimension with just the top five, you know, and then over time, I mean, I took Omega Red. I ended up G18 and Rogue over time. Morgan Le Fay may get some value on that Cabal team. Um, Nick Fury, I think, was one of my original five, and so you can come back and build these because these are great tunes, right? But they're also
Yeah.
expensive and they're also at the end. So this is the time where you start making your budget picks. I only see Goblin Classic as the only one that's going to be you're safe to build for this section. And again, you're even that I'm not even sure anymore. Just looking at this, looking at who's here. I mean, it's really
Yeah, that's
just
probably like what maybe 6 months down the road, right?
6 months down the road, and then also like I'm gonna probably take who do I have gear for? Do I because everyone's drops are different. If I have a ton of bio gear, then I'm probably taking Nova and Red Hulk. If I get lucky
Mm.
and I get a lot of mutant gear, Omega Red and Rogue could be in the mix. And so this is kind of one of those things. Who do you have gear left over for after all the other sections are done and complete? Because those everybody here, there's no standouts. They're all just kind of above average. You know,
Yeah, I
and
agree with that. Yeah, just whoever you have left over from your other previous sections, that's the best way to go. Mythic, I think, is pretty locked in, even though that's the last section. This is the big toss up right now.
yeah,
This
and
is
I
your leftover section.
yeah. And because of these orbs, just looking at the rates, I think one thing to do is once you've made your plan on the Dark Dimension Planner, um, which I made a mistake in not getting it ready to show on the screen, but there is a Dark Dimension Planner. When you go into the web store, just go to your roster, then hit Dark Dimension Planner. They should be adding DD7, hopefully sooner than later. But just looking at some of these uniques, I'm just going to kind of name some of the ones you want to buy as soon as you see them. Astral Energy, I think, is a no-brainer to buy, right?
Is
And
it just for Apocalypse, or are there multiple tunes that you're thinking of?
So this is one of the nice things to do. Is another way of doing this is if you go into the orb, and then you click on the actual unique and you click on them. So for Astral Energy,
Mm,
APOC is one of the options. You got Icarus is one of the options. You have Phyla Vel, not taking Phyla, but just an option. Sunspot's an option. Sunfire, and then all these other tunes, right? You can take Starnak. Star,
oh, maybe. Because if you're a heavy war character, heavy
yeah,
war player,
yeah. Don't do that. But just saying, so this helps you see who has uniques.
if you're bringing up Starnak, you're bringing him up not for Dark Dimension. You're bringing him up because you love war.
Yeah.
You're bringing him up just because.
And so like I click on here. So cloth is probably a good option to start buying. Say see Weaver gives you an option to buy because right if you have the uniques you at least have the option. So Weaver's
Yeah.
here, Craven's here, Photon's here, right? You may not take them, but they're an option. Peggy's here, 2099. You have a budget option of Sabretooth. You have Sylvie. You have tons of options with molecular cloth if you have them available. Hammer Tech, you got Slayer, Red Goblin, and you have Vulture. So this might be a good one to start
Mm,
buying. Um, let's see here. Shield Tech, you've got Kestrel, you have Moon, Mockingbird, Black Widow, and then that pretty much is it. This one right here, so keep in mind that this one you have Arcane Magic, which is Black Knight's ability trait, but also Mephisto will have the same unique, by the way.
so for your second run.
So definitely make sure that as you're getting to the end of your run, right, you want to make sure you're buying that up to make sure, you don't have to buy all 36, but I'm buying that one just because I want Black Knight at G19 as soon as possible. But,
Makes sense.
right, so anybody using your first five, those are who you're going to be buying for first. Miasma, we went over that, but again, just I'm not going to go through every single one of these traits. Just letting you know, here's a good way to do that. Click on these buttons, see who's all sharing that unique. If there's one that you see a lot of, you can always just bookmark it up here, right? So I'm bookmarking this one just for the video, right? And I know exactly which ones I'm buying and which ones I'm skipping. Um,
Nice.
and the last question is, so you have five tunes to take. Which five are you taking first?
All right. Well, there's three that are really, really good in the meta right now. And I even without Dark Dimension 7, I would probably build them up anyway. Apocalypse, Super Scroll, Black Knight, those characters are so good and so involved in Arena and Crucible War. Uh, Regardless of Dark Dimension, I'm building those characters up. After that, it's a little weird. Let's go into a skill section, and because that's going to be the next character. I
Yeah,
think for this, or actually, let's go with tech.
yeah, it's like Black
Um,
Knight skill. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Tech. Sorry, tech. So there's a few characters that we could do with tech. Kestrel is good. She is mythic, but I think I'm going to get a little more value out of Kang because I think he's a little more important in Crucible right now. Neither of them are actually. Kang is sort of involved in Arena right now in some of the counters. So Kang gets a nod for me, and then the last would be Mystic, and that one's tough. But I think if it were right now, I would bring in Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes. That's the character that I use the most. That I use him in Arena, use him in Crucible. I think he's on defense in War, but looking at Mystic, that's the characters that I would bring in.
yeah. I mean, because yeah, everyone has a horror story of Robbie just blowing you out of the water in Crucible, sadly, and also he's great in just in Dark
The
Dimension.
bleeds, the
Yeah,
bleeds,
he,
yeah,
he did so much work for Dark Dimension 6. It's hard to imagine not doing Dark Dimension without him. They're going to tune it around him, destroying entire waves. And so skipping him may be a very painful experience. So keep that in mind. I think Robbie wins out, but I mean, just staring at this, Mystic is very heavy in great characters, and they're all fighting right. Val's here, Weaver can be, Icarus and Cersei are here, Quicksilver, Dorm's here, right? If you want to get a head start on that Mythic tag, because right, you're guaranteed to bring Dorm in. Uh,
Dorm and Doom actually. You think
yeah,
about the unique, so that two Mystic characters that you're going to need. Dorm is very expensive as well,
yeah, they're
or as far as Mystic uniques.
yeah, he is expensive, and I mean Doom is he's split traits, but he's still five. I mean 4 pieces. He's two of each. Um, so that's still very expensive. So these are very expensive characters, but again, you're almost guaranteed to take them, barring a rework.
Yeah,
So they're a lot safer to build than let's say Icarus and Cersei, right? Because there may be better options in Cosmic. It's very easy to push them out. It's almost impossible to push out any of the mythic characters that are at the best.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna push them out and bring in Ultimus or bring in Ultron?
Yeah.
Not gonna do that.
Yeah. I mean, the gap between those five and the last two is just insane right now.
Yeah.
Um, awesome. All right. I think for that we're gonna end that video here. Thanks again, Valley, for visiting.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on the channel. Finally, the Master Theory Crafter.
Yeah. So make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Make sure to go check out Valley's video over on his channel. It is worth a watch, and y'all have a great day and great luck on y'all's progress. Later, y'all.
Have a good one.